In a lush forest, nestled amidst towering trees and vibrant flora, lived a beautiful and vibrant bird. This bird had been born within the confines of a cage, placed there by a kind-hearted person who wanted to protect it from the dangers of the wild world. The bird had never experienced the true freedom of the forest. It had never felt the wind rustling through its feathers as it soared through the open skies. It had never heard the melodic songs of its fellow birds echoing through the trees. Despite being well cared for and given food and water, the captive bird couldn't help but feel a deep longing for something it couldn't quite grasp. One day, a group of wild birds flew past the cage, their wings gliding gracefully through the air. The captive bird watched them with a mixture of envy and curiosity. It yearned to be among them, to experience the world beyond its cage. As time passed, the captive bird's desire for freedom grew stronger. It would gaze at the trees swaying in the wind, imagining what it would be like to taste true independence. It would listen intently to the distant calls of the wild birds, feeling a deep connection to their world. One night, as the moon illuminated the forest in a soft glow, a wise old owl perched on a nearby branch. Sensing the bird's longing, the owl spoke. "Little one, I see the fire of independence burning within you. But remember, true freedom comes not just from being outside the cage, but from finding freedom within yourself." The captive bird was puzzled by the owl's words. "But how can I find that inner freedom?" it asked. The owl replied, "Close your eyes and listen to the beating of your heart. In that stillness, you'll find a world of your own. A safe place where your thoughts can soar freely." True independence comes from realizing that your happiness does not entirely depend on your surroundings, but on your state of mind. The captive bird followed the owl's guidance. It closed its eyes and focused on its breath. In that moment of stillness, it felt a sense of peace that it had never known before. It realized that despite being physically confined, it could cultivate a sense of inner liberation. From that day on, the bird practiced meditation and mindfulness. It discovered that even within the cage, it could find moments of true freedom by turning its attention inward. Its perspective shifted, and it learned to embrace its circumstances without resentment. One fateful morning, the person who had placed the bird in the cage returned. Seeing the bird's contented demeanor, they opened the cage door, offering the bird the opportunity to fly free. However, to everyone's surprise, the bird hesitated. It realized that it had already found a form of freedom that was not bound by physical limitations. With a joyful mind, the bird spread its wings and took flight. As it soared through the open skies, it carried with it the wisdom of inner liberation. The once captive bird had become a symbol of independence, not only from external confines but from the limitations of its own mind. And so, the bird continued to explore the world, guided by the understanding that true freedom is a state of mind that can be cultivated no matter the circumstances. The story reminds us that while external circumstances can affect our lives, our true independence comes from mastering our inner world, finding freedom within our thoughts and perceptions. Some situations make us feel caged. We do put up a fight, but sometimes, it takes time to resolve. In such scenarios, it is important to find the freedom of mind first. Then it can slowly move on to the other aspects. Our mind is very powerful. We just need to understand how to harness it. Please like, share, and subscribe.